What's up, everyone, and welcome to Monday. Monday. Get ready. I don't know. Hold on. There we go. That's much better. How is everybody doing? Chime in, let us know where you're from, what the weather's like, what's going on in your world. Let's have a little bit of fun before we dig into those all-important questions, because we know they're coming. But let's find out who's here first. So Trinidad, what's happening? Chicago. Let's go back. Columbus, Cali in the house. Where's
Bobby?
Where's my Texas people? Augusta, what's going on? How's everybody doing? How was your weekend? How was your day off?
Hey,
let me call it what it is. How was your one day off?
That was good. Good.
It's funny. I had someone say, "Send me a thought." I'm gonna call it the thought. They sent me a thought, and they said, Dean doesn't really answer most of the questions here on these videos. Maybe he should have Fernando do it. And I was like, and I politely said, we answer as many of these as we can.
Mm-hmm.
However, I would never ask Fernando to do that because he has a young child at home that he enjoys spending his time with. So, your time outside of here is valuable just like everyone else's.
Right. Marty Dean is in the house.
Mr. Aussie Iron. Hey, how's it going? Never got one. And so I was like, no, sorry. We do what we can. And that's about it, and it's like, we're not just YouTubers. We work 6 days a week here doing this, so.
That would be cool if we just YouTubers.
I would like to work just 5 days a week doing this. I think that would be spectacular, but hey, one can dream. Houston, there's my
New
Texas,
York.
Kentucky.
Texas, yeah.
Let's go back through here. Denver. Ooh, it's cool in Denver for sure.
Arizona.
Scottsdale.
Arizona.
Let's keep going back here.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Sound dampening my doors in my truck.
Woohoo.
Ice storm. Oh, ice storm coming. Mr. John Niedermeyer. What's going on, my friend?
Careful, man. Pack some water and food.
Yeah. Jesus. You guys are way stronger than we are. We're a bunch of pussies when it comes to this stuff. I cannot do cold. And it's warm right now, so it's in the 60s. This is like prime time.
No, right now it's in the 70s.
Is it in the 70s? It's even better, man. I'd run in a short sleeve shirt, my high shorts, as Haley calls them.
Yeah.
Sarasota. What do we got going on in Sarasota? Somebody coming to hang out? Bobby, we know it's cold. Bobby sent us a picture of it snowing at his house. That was terrible. Have you ever done a 2020 Dodge Challenger? I mean, we've put a sub in there.
Yeah.
I think that's about as far as we've gotten on that. Oh, no.
No, we did
one the other day.
Yeah. With the speakers.
Yeah. Los Angeles. Hey, you guys are finally gonna maybe think about start opening again. That would be wonderful, right? Los Angeles get back to life. Bobby's planning. We're planning a Disney Florida trip next year. We plan on stopping by. Better yet, I'll just meet you out there. I think that sounds like a way better idea, because it's like an hour and 40 minutes from Disney to here.
Yeah.
It's much better to just stay over there and I come to you.
That would be cool.
Just say, Georgia. What's going on?
What's up? DSP help.
Oh, don't we always need oh, Jesus, I can't even pronounce it. New York, 4 degrees. Let's call it with that. Sorry.
Ooh.
Ant Pro. Okay.
All right.
Hello from Cali. We'll be in Sarasota this weekend.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Nice.
That's nice.
Sarasota's good.
Sarasota's just on the other side of the bridge.
Yes, that's right.
That's the Skyway Bridge, for those of you who don't know what that is. We call it the bridge because, we can, I guess. Can you post pictures of that build? Probably, I don't know if we can or not. It depends if Fernando took any. Not everything do we take pictures of.
About? Which one?
I'm thinking it was the 2020. Yeah.
If you go to the Instagram, they there.
Found a killer deal on a 608 for $450 last night. That is a killer deal. Thailand in the house. What is up, everybody? Cut my hands, didn't feel. Dude, the worst right now is, of course, yesterday we were at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and of course there's hand sanitizer places everywhere, and our hands are shredded, so it's like
54 in orange, Lance.
Ooh, Lance Doss, the boss. I had someone call you. I don't know if they did today. I apologize, but hopefully it works out for them. They needed some help.
Yes,
it was
they
a young lady
looking
that
for
we
a
talked to
dealer.
on Saturday, and so hopefully you were nice if she called you. All right, let's go to the laptop real quick. If you guys are fans of the Clean Wire Club, which we know a lot of you guys are, every week that is, every Sunday, Fernando finds a new clean wire to post as the wallpaper. And yeah, for all of you, post your clean wire pictures, keep your comments to yourself. We'll call it that.
Yeah.
But who do we have here today, Fernando?
We have Jose. Jose.
Well, this is clearly a boat, and he is a fabulous clean wire installer. He did a spectacular job on this. He's labeled all his connections. A boat is the only thing I would use a circuit breaker on.
Yep.
Hopefully, it looks like these are probably ignition-safe circuit breakers, so that is awesome. For those of you wondering why there's yellow and red and all the other fun stuff, it's just how they do it, baby, and it looks really nice.
The marine world.
The marine world is a funny place to be. He did a spectacular job there. And while we're on Facebook, let's head over here. Mobile Solutions VIP, that's right. Right now, if you want to get a wire ruler, you can. And if you order now, you can get a roll of tape included. So if you buy one wire ruler, the $24.99 single ruler that we sell through Mobile Solutions, he will send you a roll of JK tape, which is very similar to test tape. Oh my God, it's Lori.
Lori. Oh my God.
Gosh. It's not even like I tried to call her or anything.
I just want to
answer.
say hi.
I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding, Lori. I'm only kidding. And if you buy the two pack of wire rulers that you can get at a discounted price of $40, you'll get 2 rolls of JK tape. One interior and one exterior, I believe.
No, I think
oh no,
they
3/8 and
interior.
3/4. They're both interior, so you get. I'm sorry,
3/8 and 3/4.
sorry, I didn't get the memo.
And that's awesome.
3/8 and 3/4.
Love them.
It is the felty style tape. It's spectacular.
Pretty good, yeah.
So if you guys are looking to do clean wiring, you can get the tool, and
I might be still waiting on my ruler.
it's sitting on my table right now, Marty. I will get it out to you this week. I have 2 of them sitting on my table waiting to go to you. So be patient. Have I ever steered you wrong? Anyways, for those of you looking to do clean wire, you can now get the ruler and the tape, finish the job off, look super sexy. And with that, fun times as it always is.
Yes, sir.
Lori. Man, I miss kicker. I miss going out to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
I know.
You went twice.
I know.
Stop it.
I wanted to go this year too.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was so much fun. I want to go hang out at Lori's house, man. Work the tractor.
Oh, I want to do that.
I want to do a big. We do a big bonfire at Lori's house. I think that would be fun.
That would be cool.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
You're coming this time. Evening, guys. All right.
What's up?
All
right,
Let's
Ted.
get to some questions.
I'm gonna start with Ted.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Ted say, follow my questions. Last week you mentioned it have between 20 or 40 volts. I believe he want to ask some subwoofer. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
But
looking at
I only test 10 volts coming out from the stock amplifier subwoofer. Where are you guys testing to get 20 volts? Also, the stock amplifier is 8 ohm. Is it still okay to tap into that and run 2 ohms? Sub is an MB Core 10. Rockville. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I bought an LC. I'm sorry. I bought an LC1i you mentioned, but I'm not sure if I need it.
So 10 volts. You're measuring the output voltage. Okay, so that's fine. You measured it there. 10 volts is high. It's not 20 like a lot of the newer cars are, but you got 10. So you still want to go above 10. You don't want to sit right at 10. Most of the amplifiers are going to have 10 volts of input for high level. So going with the LC1i, you're covered. You're sweet. You got 40 volts of swing there. So even if it goes all the way up to 15 volts on a spike, or you're golden. But
I think the confusion was like some of the newer cars have
20 volts
up to 20 volts. So yours, if you has 10 and you already measured, the LC7i works perfectly for that. So.
Come by for some more, she says. Definitely. I'll bring them. But no, you're fine. The LC1i will solve that problem and do good to go. Now, as far as the ohm load question goes, that's not going to matter because you're hooking up an amplifier. So regardless of whatever that subwoofer was, you're perfectly fine. Even the nice thing about LC1i is that it also has the load generator in it if you need that. So that solves all your problems. It's the magical box. It'll do exactly what you need to do. Hook your amplifier up to it and call it a day. It's the smartest move to make. Any add-on solutions and or upgrades you can suggest for 2014 BMW S40i? There's a ton. I mean, everyone now makes BMW speakers. If you're looking to do amplifiers and stuff like that, I would suggest heading over to, hang on, where's that page at? Where did I put it? We go here. So this company right here, MoBridge, they're on the bottom, mobridge.us. They make the interfaces, the smart technology. So we always talk about like Amp Pros and ARs, and Metro now has harnesses, and Nav TV has Zen. MoBridge and Nav TV both make interfaces for German cars. I would really, MoBridge is the BMW guy, so I would head over to mobridge.us and see if they make an interface for your car, the 640i. They may or may not. There again, you may or may not need it because some of those older BMWs were variable voltage. So check there first if they make an interface for it. Both Ground Zero, Focal, Rockford, and a handful of other companies make plug-and-play style speakers for your vehicle that'll just go right into the factory locations and make installation easier. Let's call it that.
All right. This is a long question. Pay attention.
See the install pay. No problem. Okay, I'm paying. All right, so I got to pay attention.
All right. I have a 1997 Wrangler. Decent sound system. I want to improve it. I'm interested in time alignment. My amplifiers are JL606, 402, soundbar in the rear, punch 300p sub. 11 channels in. Everything is active through an amplifier except the tweeters in the dash and the soundbar are passive. Alright, is there a component on that market that can do time alignment without having to buy a full-blown DSP or new capable DSP in the head unit? Or do I need to ditch my preamp, turn off all my crossovers on the amplifiers and do everything through the DSP? If I have to go to the DSP route, I'm looking at the mini DSP 8-12.
I mean, that would be a nice DSP.
Yes.
All right, so as far as time limit goes, it really just depends on how serious you want to take it. Most aftermarket head units with a touchscreen are going to have time alignment built into them. That's going to be 6 channels, so you have front, rear, sub, essentially. Will that be enough for you? Possibly. We have definitely done it many, many times using the radio to get us a nice... You know, it's by no means is it going to be like if you were to go with a mini DSP, how accurate you could get with that. However, it is going to get you well into the ballpark and right around home plate for sure. So, yeah, I think if you started with a radio, you'd be okay. But otherwise, no, there really isn't any devices that are just standalone time alignment devices. The best you'll find is that there are a couple pieces that have like 1 or 2 channels of time alignment to move out the passenger and the subwoofer, and that's about it. I know that audio control with the DEQ 61 has 2 channels of analog time alignment. It's just like a knob you click. And then WaveTech also had one, but that's really about it unless you dig deep into it.
But the DSP that you're looking at is really good.
That's a neat one. I haven't played with it yet, but we get tons of people telling us how much they love them, so we'll call it there. Lewis is in the house from Portugal.
All right.
Go.
When you're running active, do you guys put any capacitors in line for the tweeters?
No, we just figure out what their crossover points need to be, and we run them naked. We go commando. I mean, if you set the system up properly, that capacitor, what do you need it for? I mean, you're going to set it well above the crossover point anyway, so, you know, if you blow your tweeters, that cap ain't going to help you. You're just destructive. So if you set things up properly, I mean, figure out the FS of the tweeter, multiply it by 2, and that'll give you a good crossover point. If you're worried about blowing your tweeter, multiply it by 3 or multiply it by 4. Cross it over accordingly, you're good to go.
All right, 2 questions.
Yes.
On the RAM series, I promise it's not about it's not about the Amp Pro.
Okay.
I'm planning a system for a 2019 Ram 1500 Classic. What do you think of the Fox box?
Ooh.
I will. And will you recommend the big three, or could I get away with the stock?
Yeah.
With the stock stuff. It's 1400 watts RMS.
So we've never had an electrical issue with the Dodge Ram. All the ones we've ever done, we've never really done anything to.
And it's a 2019, so
yeah, we've never bothered to upgrade anything as far as that goes. Not saying that you won't run into a problem, but we've never personally ran into any problems. As far as the Fox box goes, yeah. Go for it. Go for it. It's yeah. Now keep in mind there are some people that will go, oh my gosh, it's too loud and it's too boomy, and it's like, that's because it's made to do that. So if you want big fat boomy bass, Fox box is the way to go. If you want something a little bit more reserved and a little bit more like jazzy maybe, but you know, I mean, for the price, the Fox box is probably your biggest, loudest one. Otherwise, you can get something custom made at MTI Acoustics. They'll do a pretty box for you, or a smaller, you know, whatever. But if you want loud, crazy bass, just get the Fox box.
Have you done a Kia Stinger?
No.
GT? No, not yet.
No.
The signal to my door speaker goes out in a few seconds after starting the car. What could be the problem?
Wow, that's a tough one. I mean, that opens the door for so many things. When it comes to testing speakers, especially speaker wiring, the easiest thing to do is get some form of a test speaker and go to the amplifier and or the source that is powering that speaker and connect a speaker there. So if you have an amplifier that is powering just that speaker, disconnect it from the amplifier and hook up another test speaker there. See if that shuts off. If it stays on and plays, then it's telling you something after the amplifier. If it does the same thing, then start working your way back. Maybe a bad RCA or something like that. The other thing too that's really helpful to have is a digital multimeter. When you unscrew the speaker lead, it's nice to take the digital multimeter, for one, do a ohm test on the speaker to make sure that it is the appropriate ohm load it's supposed to be. And if you don't know what that is, compare it to the one in the passenger or driver's door, the opposite one, and they should both read the same thing. The other thing you'd want to do is take a continuity test to the ground of the car. Sometimes what happens is that even though the speaker's not blown and it plays, there could be a short in the voice coil going to the cone or the magnet of the speaker, which then is all connected to metal, and it becomes a dead short. So by testing ground to both speaker wires, if you get any continuity there whatsoever, then you know you have a bad speaker. It's shorted to ground. That's a great place to start. There's two ways. That's what I got so far.
All right.
Yeah?
Any news on a T-harness for a 2020 F250?
2020 F250? Mm-hmm. That's the same T-harness that's currently available.
F-150, no?
Yeah, it's the same F-150 harness. They're identical.
Ultra?
Well, no, actually just use the
pack.
FO,
oh no, the
FO2.
FO2. Yeah.
Yeah, AFO2. That one. iData AFO2. And if you wanted to, if it is non premium sound, you could do the iData AFO2 into a DSR1, and it will reflash the radio to 5-volt variable voltage output for you. So it'll make things really sexy and give you 8 channels of line level output. That is, there again, 5 volts, with turning off all the EQ and all that nonsense. You can also do that with any iData compatible product and an AR. We have a video up. Just search for AFO2. Okay, go.
I'm sorry. Andy, what are your thoughts on the Lynxwell T style Silverado head units? So we never installed one. We sold them at Knowledge Fest.
I really don't have thoughts on it, to be honest
and
with
it's
you.
like, we never talked to them.
We did talk to them.
I mean, we talked to them, but that was not like...
No, it was just like, what kind of sound quality these things have, or these...
That was a more important question.
The reason why we've never gotten into that with them, or with those particular radios, for one, white box radios on a whole are nothing we want any part of. The Lynxwell radios, people love them, people hate them. I don't want to get involved with them in the sense that it's... anything that requires extra service, like if it doesn't sound good. Some people have great luck with them, some people don't. I don't like dealing with that kind of stuff. I'm not telling you not to buy it, but I just know that most of the time when people buy things like this, they never have the experience they're looking for. And that's really what it comes down to, is that if the experience, the idea behind those was to go in from the dealership. So you haven't even taken possession of the car and they put this link swell radio in it or something like that. That way that's the only experience you know, and you're fine with it. But if you've been working with the factory radio and how well it works, and then you put these radios in and they don't work that well, you kind of scratch your head and go, why did I do that? So that's what happens most of the time with those. And then you got to take it out, put the factory one back in, and then it's just... And plus, I look at who our customers are. People that want to buy those things, they just want it to work, and they don't want to get intimate with it. They don't want to know anything about it. If you're into that kind of thing, like dealing with stuff, there you go. It's calling your name.
All right.
Hold on, let me do this one, because it kind of rolls back into the AFO.
Okay.
Have you ever used ForeScan to flash the factory Ford head units? No. I have not done it personally on a customer's car. I have been in a customer's car walking him through how to do it because we both sat there and watched the YouTube video. There's nothing wrong with doing it. I strongly recommend, if you are the end user, meaning it is your Ford vehicle, go for it. Go for it all day long. Save a copy of it so if you ever need to roll it back, you can. But ForeScan is a wonderful tool. The interface is inexpensive to do it. If you're not into all that nonsense, like reprogramming the radio and doing all that, that's what the iData and the DSR1 are for, is that they will do that for you. So it just dumbs things down, and once because the DSR1 has a processor built into it that can handle that programming all on its own without the laptop getting in the way. So, but yeah, no, ForeScan, go for it. It's a perfectly valid way to do something. Just keep in mind that you have to be able to roll it back if anything ever happens. That's why we don't want to do it. All right, go.
All right, 2015 Explorer. Fronts are the Focal 6.5K X2, and the rears are the Focal Flax Evo 6.5s. Two 8-inch JLs, subs in the rears, amplifiers, a Kenwood XR 606 DSP.
Okay.
For the speakers, XR 401 for the subs. It's a full active.
Yeah.
When I turn my system up with something that has heavy bass, the speaker boys get muddy.
Yeah.
Is that typically in there something causing that will cause that to happen?
So basically what we got going on, can you guys help with my Pandora audio issues? Jeff is funny. Jeff has jokes. Yes, he does. We can talk more about that later. Basically what the guy, what he's asking is that he's got a fully active system using that amplifier right there, going off using all 10 channels. Sounds like a fabulous system. He's got it going to 2 6.5s. When he turns it up, it kind of gets muddy. What could be causing that? Well, they're 6.5 subwoofers, I believe you said? 6.5-inch subwoofers.
Two 8-inch.
Two 8-inch subwoofers. I would take a look at the box. You may need a different box, and or you may need more power. So that could be the problem there. But if things are getting muddy, usually means that they're trying to play something that they can't, or something you want them to do that they can't. Not necessarily that they just run out of, they can't do it anymore. I don't necessarily think it's anything wrong with your equipment. You just might be trying to get more out of it than it can do. That's going to be the easiest answer I have for that. Because the 8s, they're W3s, V3s. I mean,
they are really nice.
It's not a bad driver.
No, they're actually pretty good.
You might
drivers.
just need more power.
Yeah, because it's
I mean, you got a 4-channel and
it's
a 6-channel.
It's a full channel.
See, I don't.
So
I think we need more power.
the 4-channel, I'm pretty sure is bridge the 2 for the subs.
Yeah, see, I would never do that.
No.
I would never do that.
I would get
I get
like
it, but I would never do that because
big
that's not a lot of power. Yeah, so the 4 channels bridge to the subs.
Correct.
You may want to look at getting a better sub amp because that's really not what that amplifier is made for. It will do it, but I wouldn't. That's just my thought. Okay.
All right. JVC KWM750 Macless head unit in the network mode. The manual shows that the front RCAs are now the mid-range and the rear RCAs are the tweeters. Is that right? Seems backwards to me.
Seems very backwards.
Yeah,
to me.
it should be the opposite, no?
Wow, really?
Yeah, it should be the opposite, no?
I would think. What kind of radio is it?
A JVC KW M750. Yeah. So shows front RCAs are the mid-range.
Okay.
I mean, probably.
No, because it shouldn't be that way.
I mean, no, but yeah, it's 200 watts each.
Yeah, but I still don't like that. Three-way speaker set, page 71. Hold on.
I think you type 71.
I could just scroll. Shush.
Okay. Alright, so let's see. What's up, Wilfredo? Atlanta, Georgia.
Three-way speaker setup.
Marty. 4600. You got it?
Yeah, I'm reading.
Why you don't share the screen?
Because there's not much to read.
No?
I'm just looking for the RCAs, front focus. I'm just looking for it to tell me what the RCAs are going to be. Hold on, let me type in that.
Hi from Seattle, 2020 F-150, no amplifier. Any suggestions using a 4-scan and a DSP or an LOC?
I would do the 4-scan and a DSP. Yeah, definitely do the 4-scan and a DSP. Be way happier. I mean, I'm looking here in the owner's manual. It's not really giving me... The three-way speaker system is selected. Front focus feature is disabled, obviously. Man, honestly, I'm not getting the answer I'm looking for here. Most of the time, it's front is tweeter, rear is mid-range.
Did you, by chance, you call like tech support and just ask them?
I mean, the easiest thing to do is just plug it in, see what happens.
Right.
I mean...
No, I mean, but if you like, I just want to make sure and all that stuff.
Because if you plug in the mid-range, it's not going to do anything. Fader adjustment is disabled, of course. You just get left and right. Yeah,
Yeah?
Yeah, all right, read your next question.
All right.
I can multitask.
After Pioneer NEX 4660,
Okay.
RR going ACH1, have you had that set before without using the RCAs from the head unit? The system consists of all morels and a 5-channel GM 975DX.
Okay. So where's the question?
I don't know.
I mean, that sounds pretty reasonable.
Have you had... I mean, I don't think we ever did that system before. 4660.
The 4660 are
the Pioneer.
Yeah, we just did one last week, and we just did 2 of those last week, back to back.
ACH1.
That's the RR ACH1. We just did one of those in a Jeep.
Okay.
With that same harness. I mean, you only use the RCAs if it's got the Alpine system, but he has amplifiers, so he's not going to be using that. So, I mean, you don't have to use the speaker wires for anything unless you're trying to loop back through. So, yeah. I don't know. From that sound stream, it goes into an LC2I before going into the sub. Okay, Steve. Pre-outs. Okay, hold on.
It's a Dodge Durango with the Alpine system.
Dodge Durango with an Alpine system, so you're going to use the 2-channel RC only. So you're going to go, so if it's a Dodge Durango 4660 RR, RR, you're only going to use the, you're going to wire up all 8 wires because it gives you all 8 wires in the harness. You just have to do the white to green to white. So depending on whether it is I don't have the harness over here. If it is an amplified system, I believe it goes green to white. meaning there's a green harness and a white harness, and it goes like that if it's a non-amplified system. Or maybe it goes white to white, green to green. In the instruction manual, there's a little box. And basically what it's doing is that the output sound from the radio to the amplifier is passed over the rear speaker outputs. So if it was a 4-channel radio, front rear sub, it wouldn't matter. But because it's an amplified system, it only has 2 channels coming out of the factory radio into that Alpine system. But if you're not using that because you're just doing a Morel system, you'd be bypassing the factory amplifier anyways, I would hope.
I would hope.
In which case it wouldn't matter. But if you're still using the factory amplifier, then you're going to come out of the fronts, into the rears, and off to the amplifier. All
right.
So confusing.
All right. Kenwood floating radio has 3 switches for things like lights.
Yes.
And the
If you get the RR2, yeah.
And the RR2 has them as well. Can you have them all control something, or is just one?
Now you have to have the RR2 to get the switches. So there's no output on the Kenwood floating radio. It's controlling the 3 outputs of the RR2. So there's only those outputs. That's it. So the reason why there's only 3 is because there's only 3 on the RR. There's not 6. So there isn't 3 on the Kenwood and then 3 on the RR. There's a total of just those Maestro programmable outputs, MPOs is what they're called. Yes.
2020 charger, Ampro or RR into a DMA 60A. And that's it.
Well, if you got a 2020 charger and you're running a DM 608, you're gonna go Amp Pro, because that's what's gonna work best for that. Because the 608 isn't AR compatible yet, so which sucks, but it's not. But it will be someday. Should I use an LC7i or the LC2i in a 2020 Frontier to run a kicker amp and sub, and I plan on adding a 4-channel amp? Well, if you're going to be adding a 4-channel amp, you definitely want to go with something that has 6-channel. So that's going to be the LC7i, but what I might recommend is going with the LCQ1. The LCQ1 is going to give you an EQ, so it's an LC7i with an EQ built into it. It's a little bit more money, but that'll at least give you the ability to tune things. So yeah, you're on the right path, but probably want to upgrade just a little bit more and get a better sound. You got one, or can I read another one?
You can read that.
Does it hurt the head unit if you use the speaker wires and the RCAs at the same time? It does not hurt the head unit, but it could hurt the system. The reason for that is you always have to set your system up for the lowest common denominator, meaning there's always going to be a compromise as far as what you can do and what you can't do. If you're using the speaker wire outputs and the RCA wire outputs, they distort at different times, meaning on the volume knob. The speaker level output is going to distort a lot quicker than the RCA outputs. The RCA outputs are typically full all the way up is where they're going to distort, maybe 2 down from the top depending on the brand you're using. Whereas that amplifier is going to distort really quick. Let's say around 26, 27, 28. So you have 35, 28. Big difference because there is a power band, so it's not a straight line all the way up. So what that means is that you have to max out the radio's output, saying, okay, since I have speakers hooked up to this and I don't want them to distort and blow, the loudest I can go is 28. That means my RCA's 28, which means now I have to turn the gain up on my amplifiers to compensate for the fact that I can't go any higher on my volume knob without distorting the lowest common denominator, the speakers off of those. That's the problem with it. You can do it, it just sucks because of what I just said.
Go down. Timothy, right there.
Not using factory amplifier on my Dodge Durango. My aftermarket radio isn't using any RCAs from the head unit. It is something you guys have done in the past. Sorry I didn't explain it easier. So it sounds like you may have an amp pro in. I mean, if it's a factory Durango radio, radio isn't using any RCAs from the head unit. And I don't know where we're going with this. It did get confusing. It looks like Dean and Fernando buy some cough drops. Works better than Fanta. He has a Sprite today. And he's sucking on a cough drop. Best high power speaker, mids, highs for an SXS. I mean, you know, if you're in a high power speakers, there's a ton of them out there. I mean, as far as, what are we looking for? Are we looking for high power in the sense you want them to be loud? High power in the sense you can put a bunch of power on them? There's a lot of different criteria there as far as that goes. I mean, there's tons of things that matter. The more money you spend on something, typically the more power you can put on it is usually how that works.
Any recommendations for a 2020 Honda CR-V? Please, I do not recommend replacing the head unit.
I mean, if it's got the base model stereo, it's just 4-channel output. In that case, you know, something 4-channel into a DSP or into a high level to low level like an LC7i, LCQ1 like we've been talking about would probably be the way to go. Or if you're just looking to do speaker upgrades, it's a 6.5 tweeter all the way around. So 4 6.5s and some tweeters in the dash. Nice set of components up front, coaxials in the rear. That car doesn't have a ton of room, so probably something with a small footprint for a 5-channel, which there are tons of, or small footprint amplifiers in general. There's a lot to choose from. It's just a budget and time.
DSR1 is what I was used.
Yeah, so you're going amp pro, so you're doing AR connection, amp pro. All right, so that works. So where was the question? What was the original question for all of this? I mean, it sounds like you have a great system. So you're going out of the Durango into a data connection through a DSR1, off through the amplifiers, off to the Morel.
All right.
Yes.
Aftermarket Pioneer 4660.
Yes.
RR going into the ACH1.
Okay.
Have you had that set up before without using the RCAs from the head unit? So
what would you do? High level into the DSR1?
Yeah, no,
I would never do that.
The system.
So if we got a 4660 and a DSR1, I'm going to RC out of the 4660 into the DSR1. Use front and rear only, or front and sub, depending on whether I want the control for my sub. I don't know why I would use control for the subwoofer on a Pioneer. It sucks to get to. So I go front and rear out. I mean, you can do high level too. It's just you run into the same problem we just talked about. Your volume gets screwed up. So have we gone out of an aftermarket radio into a DSP processor into our amplifiers? Of course, we do it all the time. Have we done it in a DSR1 with those? Yes, we've done Pioneer radios into a DSR1, but we will use the RCAs and not do speaker line because there is no other way to do it right now. Mr. John Schneid, we're talking about you today, John? With Mr. Smith.
Yes. All right. I have a 2015 Scion XV.
Okay. So my system sounds great. I was asking if you have ever done that.
Okay.
I assumed it sounded great because why not? And there again, keep in mind, guys, there's so many ways to skin a cat. They're all gross, but you can do it in many ways. There's a lot of ways to get from point A to point B that as long as it's within what you're trying to do and you accept everything that it is that it's doing, you will get to your end result. It's just a matter of perspective and how much you're willing to put up with / what you become accustomed to. So the answers we give you are things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and these are the problems and how we solve them. But that isn't the only way that these things can be done. There are other ways to do things. By no means is what we say the only way things can happen. It's not. Please, no. There are many ways to do this car audio stuff. We just try to give you the answers to questions in the best of our ability and what we do. Prime example of what he's talking about, if memory serves right now how I'm running the DSP in my car, because we just kept flopping out radios, is that it's line level into that Alpine. I'm sorry, it's high level into that
high
Alpine.
level, yes.
Because it just was hooked up that way. I mean, not that I care, because it's just a matter of I have factory speakers and all that garbage.
Switching radios. It's
yeah, so
like
I don't even know if we ever even ran the RCAs back to it.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
We did the whole thing.
So it's not impossible, and it's not like you can't let it happen. It's just how things roll.
Alright, 2015 Scion XV using a stock head unit, Addison Bit 1 DSP, using a T-harness, a speed wire.
All the goodies.
Yeah, everything. It's in Canada. I have Hertz Melee Pro, 6.5 components, What would you suggest for rear fill and a subwoofer? I have a Rockford Punch P1005 channel.
Well, I don't know how much bass you want, but Hertz makes some really amazing subwoofers if you want to keep it all in the family. For sure, the Millie subwoofer is like, oh, yeah, baby. So there's that to consider. If you don't want to spend that kind of bank, well, then there's other things that you consider too. Depending on how crazy you want to get, there's like, you know, Rockford makes preloaded boxes, Kicker makes preloaded boxes that are both phenomenal boxes and extremely affordable. As far as the rear speakers go, for that I would strongly recommend keeping it all in the family. You don't necessarily need to go with some Millie Pros, but maybe scroll down to like some Centos or Cento Pros just to kind of keep it all in the same sound character.
Maybe don't go crazy on the rear fill and go crazy on the subwoofer.
Yeah, good call. If I have a DM810 and an LC 1.1500, where should I run the bass knob? I would run the bass knob on the LC 1.1500. I much prefer using the bass knob out of the amplifier than I do running it out of the DSP. It's just a personal preference. It's just me, but that's what I like to do. They are two different style bass knobs, and that's why I like doing it, because I just like a bass knob. I want it to turn up and down. I don't want to have to push it. I don't want to have to accidentally push it. I don't want to have to like click it and do all that fun stuff. I just want to turn it on, bass up, bass down. That's it. If you go through the DM810, then you're going to have to get the second, the 2 or 3, and that has got a push button on it so that you can change your presets, which most people don't have, but then you might accidentally change your presets and, you know, oh my gosh, and slip and fall, and the next thing you know, you have a baby coming. So, that's why I like to do it that way, just to reduce the risk of anyone calling me up and going, all of a sudden it sounds terrible. What did I do? I just turned up the subwoofer, but it didn't work. 2016 F-150, what double din radio would you recommend? Short chassis, something skinny. So totally find something short chassis. It'll make your life a lot better, for sure. Short chassis.
Macless radius.
Macless radius.
All right, comparison between you guys' last install of the full Addison F-150, what are your thoughts of the amplifiers compared to the Class D amplifiers? Are the full front stage actually warmer in sound versus the Class D amplifiers?
So basically what we're talking about is we did a Raptor, which has been in many videos, where we did the Voce 5.1 K, full DA, meaning full digital, meaning it was out of the Zen A to B Toshlink into the HD DSP. Out of that was what they call full DA, full digital. Out of that, digital inputs into the amplifiers. So there was no RCAs in it whatsoever. It was basically the cleanest system that Audison makes for you to use in a car. The Voce 5.1 is a unique amplifier in that it has 2 channels that are Class A, 2 channels that are Class AB, and then a sub output which is Class D. It's a phenomenal amplifier. Mr. Bill Freeman has 2 of them coming, which makes me really jealous. So what you do is you run the tweeters off of the A class, the AB goes to mid bass, and the D goes to sub. It's an expensive system, okay, when compared to, let's say, your average everyday system. It's about 3 times the price of a normal system that is going to be using something like the Audio Controls or the Rockfords or the Kenwoods or whoever. It doesn't matter. We also went with the Voce tweeters along with the Thesis mid bass. There again, that mid bass costs more than what most you people are willing to spend on your system. Did it sound warmer, more natural? But of course, it sounded all those things that you could possibly imagine it sounded. You sat in the car and you wanted to cry because it was just like, all right. Was it worth it? To that guy, it was 100% worth it. He loved every minute of it, and I loved it too. Fernando sat in the car and was like, I just want to get out because I don't have this in my car. Now, when comparing, let's say, a comparable Class D series amplifier, which is what most amplifiers are. Dude, the technologies have evolved a lot in the last, you know, several years as far as Class D technology and how it sounds. I would venture to guess that most of you guys can't sit in a car and go, oh, that's Class AB. Oh, that's Class D. I know I probably couldn't. I'm sure I could just sit there and I'd be like, because I mean, I've heard cars that are Class AB that have been amazing, and I've heard cars that are Class D that have been amazing too. And honestly, I couldn't tell you the difference most of the time between the two. The speakers, on the other hand, I'll sit in there and go, what are we listening to? These suck. You know, and I'm pretty sure that most of you guys can look at a picture on the wall and be like, ooh, you used a Canon 5D Mark IV to shoot that. And be like, no, I'm a Nikon shooter. Yeah, I have no idea.
Alex?
So, I don't know. This is a big topic that people get all excited about. And like, oh, Class AB for life. In which case I say, head over to Morel. Morel has some of the most affordable Class AB amplifiers out there. Go for it. They're big. Have fun.
All right. Four 8-inch subwoofers.
Ooh.
Rockford P2 D2.
Okay.
In a ported enclosure. In a 2012 Chevy Silverado. Or 212s TW1s JL. What do you think?
I go 4/8.
I go 4/8.
4/8 for sure, man. Dude. Oh, yeah. 4/8 for sure.
Does it hurt the head unit if you
I did
use...
that one.
Oh, okay.
I got that one.
I was not here.
I have a very young car audio shop here in Texas and having problems knowing what dash kit and radio harness to keep in stock. Any suggestions? Ooh, man. Yes. There is none great to keep in stock. The best way to do that is if, like, for example, Paul is a firm believer in stocking every single dash kit on the face of the earth. Everyone, and if he doesn't have it, I can guarantee you the next time you ask him, he'll have 2 of them. To him, it's money in the bank. However, it's a huge investment in both time and space. The easiest way to do it is, believe it or not, use Amazon. Amazon, look, I mean, hey, they got great prices. The dash kits, it's a dash kit.
Dash kit is a dash
Either
kit.
that or find a distributor that's local next to you that stocks these things. So, for example, one of the other reasons why we stock a ton of dash kits is that we sell to everyone. Every local guy in town comes here and buys dash kits. My guess is you may have something like that in your area or within close enough to your area that is crazy like us and will stock every dash kit. Call the owner, talk to him, find out, hey, are you willing to sell me dash kits? Usually, you know, if he makes $2 or $3, $5, $10 off a dash kit, it's not the end of the world. Or you just set things up so that when you're booking the appointment, it's like you can't do same day. But it's impossible, I'd say, nowadays to stock all the dash kits you need. I mean, if you find like us, we do F-150s, we do a ton of Jeeps. But we really don't do a lot of radios in F-150s anymore because they all come with 8-inch touchscreens. However, we do a ton of Jeeps. So yeah, do we stock an F-150 dash kit? We stock 1. Well, actually, he'll stock 4. But
yeah, exactly.
you would stock 1. And then we have bags of Jeep kits.
And like you said, it's not because we do it here, because he sells to
But he sells a lot of dash kits. So,
yeah.
But the nice thing about Amazon is that you have 2-day out. And it's not a bad price.
Now, keep in mind, if the dash kit came broke or something...
We always run. I mean, we get dash kits broke from manufacturers too. It's not like it's the end of the world.
Return it. It's like, hey man,
you can still return it to Amazon.
Yeah,
dude, you go drop it off. Dude, you literally go drop it off at Kohl's.
And then you gotta wait another 2-3 days to get it.
Hey, life sucks. Then you die.
Yes,
you know, it's not the end of the
sucks.
world.
I don't like it.
Hey man, you know what? If Amazon has it, it's usually only $5
I want
more
it
than
now.
what I pay for
That's
it anyway. So,
all right. Good night, guys. I learned back in the day the RCA must not be run next to the power wires.
yeah.
Power cables. I'm not seeing installs that have both next to each other. Is that safe to do now?
Yeah, a lot of the amplifiers have evolved greatly as far as the noise cancellation and noise redundancies built into the amplifiers to kill things like that. Also, RCA technology, I won't say it has evolved much, but we're getting RCAs that are made a lot better than they were back then. So like a nice twisted pair RCA with a drain wire.
You have $10,000 RCAs.
I thought it was 5,000. Anyways,
okay.
RCA build quality has definitely gone up a lot in the last 10 years, 20 years. So we have a much better product that we're dealing with. But for the most part, the amplifiers have gotten a lot better as far as noise rejection and stuff like that go. Trust me, there's been plenty of situations where, I mean, the wiring is tight. There's no question about it. But the noise isn't there because they're taking care of that. So is it as important to do? I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying don't lose any sleep in it. I've seen some guys that have, like, you know, done some really weird stuff to keep those RCAs as far away from, and it's like, you know, good rule of thumb, always cross at 90 degrees and all this other fun stuff. Those still apply, but you know, if we're doing a big system with multiple amplifiers, the RCAs will go down one side, power wire goes down on the other. But there's plenty of 5-channel amplifiers where it's going up underneath the seat and the wiring is so tight in there, but yet we still have no noise. It's just a better built product. It's really what it comes down to. Most of the time when people ask us like, hey, I have noise, it's like, what kind of product do you have? Because chances are it's not the installation. Sometimes it is, don't get me wrong. You know, there's plenty of bad ground points out there that people have gotten and also cheap RCAs, but for the most part, better product gets you a better result.
Single-ended inputs or less common as well.
Yes, that is the also thing. Oh, hey, look who
What's
it is,
that,
man. How's it going?
Yes.
Yes, from AVDC.
AVDC.
Over there in Australia. What's going on, man? Yes, that is the other thing, too. And
I was jealous that they closed for so many days.
Yeah, but they don't have COVID over there anymore, so those guys are living life well. They probably don't have to wear masks or any of that crap. Anyways, if you know, you said that single-ended RCAs. If you really want to learn about RCA technology, like single-ended and twisted pairs and all that fun stuff,
it's a public holiday in Australia today.
Of course it is.
I'm moving to Australia.
No doubt. But anyways, Tony D'Amore, you guys all know who he is, the DD1 creator of the DD1 and all that fun stuff. Along with Steve. But Tony D'Amore has a wonderful channel on YouTube, and he does a really good job of talking about RCAs. Anytime I need a refresher course on single-ended and twisted pairs and all that nonsense with RCAs, I just head over there and I watch his video. And then Fernando has 100 questions when we're done, because apparently he's watching something different than what I am.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. But,
well, I mean, you know, I tried to get as much as I can, and then what about this and what about that, and
yeah,
you know, left, right.
Definitely fully balanced, which are way better at rejecting noise. I know, noise sucks. What Pioneer you recommend with video output for phone mirroring?
What Pioneer?
I mean, for the most part, I think all the NEX, all the higher end NEX have HDMI input. That's really what you want to look for, is HDMI input.
Or the new Kenwoods with the HDMI input.
Well, that's only on the big floating screens. But I mean, those are super sexy. There's no question about it. I mean, but yeah, some of the, like the 4660 that was asked about earlier, that has an HDMI input, so you can do phone mirroring.
That says
some
video
of the
output.
Video output with phone mirroring. None of them. Okay, my bad. None of them are going to do video output with phone mirroring.
So the Android is very...
But they're not going to do output.
Big, yeah.
They're not going to do output because output is a protected... output is a digital thing that has copy protection built onto it, so it's only the analog. So you
buy
can
an
go
iPad.
old school. No, you can't do an iPad either.
No, I said buy iPads.
Just go old school and get the CA-C3AV and an adapter for that and plug it into the aux input. So if you can convert the video out of the phone into analog first, which even most of them have stopped doing. It's not anything we even do videos on or talk about anymore because it's just gotten so ridiculously hard to do because everyone's locking everything down. God forbid you make a copy of a movie. Oh, Jesus. Mr. Ad is in the house. What's going on, buddy? You guys do very nice work. Thank you for detailed videos. You're welcome. We try very hard.
And thank you for watching.
All right, we got 5 minutes.
All right. Is there a case where Bluetooth audio will be comparable to the aux jack quality? I have a Kenwood Exelon and I have Blake with codec settings and compression, but aux connectivity always sounds better.
Is there a place for it? Yeah. Some of the Bluetooth, like some of the higher end Bluetooth, like aptX, has obviously better Bluetooth output. Some of the times, no. When you're looking at something that has wireless CarPlay or wireless Android Auto, you don't have these problems anymore because it's done over Wi-Fi. The pipes are bigger. So if you want to do wirelessly streaming to your device, like most of us do, and you want it to sound the best that it possibly can, think about maybe upgrading to something with wireless, Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Wi-Fi pipes, really big. Sound very nice.
All right, real quick. 2018 Mazda 3 with Bose system. Is there a smart harness for that?
Mazda?
Mazda
No.
2018. Really?
Not right off. Oh, actually, yes. there is a access.
There's
probably
like
an with the Bose system, no though, because it's going to be at the amplifier. So no, there isn't. There isn't going to be one. No, because at the Bose amp, no one makes a plug that plugs into the Bose amp that I've ever seen.
2018.
Yeah, I mean, you might be able to compare it to other harnesses. Like the reality is a lot of these harnesses are very similar. So like some of the Ford harnesses will obviously work in some of the Mazda, even though they have nothing to do with anything anymore. Suppliers are suppliers, so in some cases, yeah, but there isn't going to be like an all-out like, here you go. Yeah, but yeah, like Lewis is saying, like I was saying, buy something with aptX. Some of the Pioneers used to have aptX, but then they took it out of the units when they got CarPlay and Android Auto wired because they figured you were going to be plugging in anyway, so why put the more expensive Bluetooth chip in it? So that's why we had great Bluetooth, and then we got CarPlay and Android Auto, and we got crappy Bluetooth. And now we have great Bluetooth again because we're not using Bluetooth and we just have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how things have happened over the past couple years. And that takes us to the last question, guys. Thank you so much for playing. Oh my gosh, it's Fro.
Jason is
Hi
in the
and
house.
bye. Crazy days.
We're gonna go another hour.
No, we're not. We are not doing another hour. We're headed to, as we like to say, home.
Yeah.
So let's end the show right here. Laptop. DNF Tool Drawer is a place you can go and find all the cool tools. That is at DNF Tool Drawer. Dean and Fernando's Tool Drawer is the name of the place. Hey, look at that. The 12 Days of Christmas logo is gone. Click on any one of these links and you can find the cool tools that we use to do our installs. If you're like, hey, I really like to support the show and I want to have a cool t-shirt because t-shirts are cool, you can go over to teespring.com/store/5star,
yep.
or just go to teespring.com and type in 5-Star Car Stereo.
No,
you can get a cool Jeff Smith shirt, run DNF, or check out the new hoodies and whatnot that we have that we just came out with. Lots of fun there. And of course, hey, be patriotic and get the 5-Star American flag shirt.
It's coming.
Yeah, there it is right there. Oh, hey, I love the pop-ups. Or if you want to do that other thing, make Haley happy, you can get the Boring Life with Dean and Haley shirt. That's always fun. And that's it, guys. That's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, something to keep in mind for those of you who are like, oh, I don't want to wait till Saturday for you guys to answer more questions or just to pop in and say hi. Well, that's wonderful. You can head over to Instagram where we do the Instagram 5 minutes with 5-Star.
Yeah.
We don't tell you when we're going to do it. We just pop in on Instagram and we're like, hey, cool, check it out. We're going to be there. And we usually take questions, tell you what's going on in the day. And of course, if you missed those, we brought those back on Monday. So today on YouTube, an hour and 40 minutes of 5 minutes with 5-Star. We brought those back so that you guys that like podcasts and just like to listen to people talking and fun stuff like that, which you know a lot of you guys do. Because once we brought it back, you're like, oh, thank God, we're wondering what happened to this. So it's back. It's up there for you to listen to. Just let it play in the background. Lots of fun. But you can find us over on Instagram on 5-Star Car Stereo, the number 5-Star Car Stereo. And then, of course, don't forget that if you want to get the clean wire ruler and some JK fuzzy tape to make your wiring look all taped up and sexy, right now, if you buy the wire ruler, you get a roll of tape.
Roll.
If you buy 2, you get 2 rolls of tape. Super sexy there. Dose tape. All right, guys, that's it for today. We'll see you back on Saturday on YouTube,
and
6
tomorrow.
o'clock Eastern Standard Time. At 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the tubes. We'll be doing more questions. We're talking about cool stuff. And of course, don't forget Friday mornings at 9 o'clock on Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo clips. They're again on YouTube. We talk about the news, all the cool stuff. If you guys haven't caught the news show, by all means, you need to check that out because if you like knowing all the cool stuff that's going on in the world of car audio, that's where you find it.
Bye, Lori.
Bye, Lori.
Bye,
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.